Hello. This is Danny Ceballos with Unleashed Consulting and the Best Boss Bootcamp Minute. This time we get a letter from Confused in Cleveland, and Confused writes, I treat my team the way I want to be treated, with respect and high expectations, and yet they still complain and tell me how unhappy they are. What is going on? So there's a few things that I want you to consider, Confused. The first is a powerful reframe of the golden rule, right? So the golden rule is oftentimes how we are raised to believe that how we are going to be treating other people. And that is that we treat others the way that we want to be treated. So we want to reframe that now as something we call the platinum rule. The platinum rule says that we treat others the way they want to be treated. So that's the first thing. Confused is that I want you to get out of the mindset that everybody that folks have the same motivation and the same desires and values that you do. There may be a lot of overlap, but we need to get out of our own egos as leaders now and start to realize that the folks that we are supervising on our teams are actually coming from a very different set of values and needs and wants. And so to apply the platinum rule. So how do we apply the platinum rule? Well, that's number two. I want to suggest to you, consider doing a tool that we call the motivational thumbprint tool. So this is a list of questions that you devise that you ask all of your employees, your direct reports. And these are motivational questions. So in one of your one-to-one meetings, ask your folks, what motivates them? What's most important to them? What are the extrinsic and intrinsic motivations that they have? How can they best be engaged? What kind of feedback? How do they like to receive feedback? So create a set of maybe 6 to 10 questions that you ask all of your employees around what truly motivates them. Then keep that in your files, right? So we used to call that a feel-good file. We keep that in that employee's feel-good file. And always consider going back to that when you're figuring out, well, what's going on with this person? How can I best motivate and or reward them? So consider the motivational thumbprint tool. And the third is this notion of intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. So we all have a different set of values around how we want to be rewarded and acknowledged. One is intrinsic, one is extrinsic. And extrinsic means, what is the external motivation? What is the transactional motivation? That tends to be things like monetary rewards, paychecks, those kinds of things that are tangible. The intrinsic reward is what the research shows is most important for us, is to really tap into what motivates us from inside. So that's your charge, is to really tap into the intrinsic motivation, less about the extrinsic motivation, but really see if you can apply the platinum rule to truly understand what your employees need and value from their deepest sets of wants, needs, and values. So a good example of that might be that you may be intrinsically motivated by a sense of accomplishment, and your employee may be intrinsically motivated by a sense of accomplishment, but perhaps more so by a sense of purpose and love, right? So to really get a sense of what your folks are, how they are intrinsically motivated, and again, getting outside of your own ego that says that the way you are motivated is the way that everybody else is. All right, I hope that was helpful. Confused? Let me know if you have any other questions about that, and good luck with everything. All right, this is Danny Ceballos with Unleashed Consulting and the Best Boss Bootcamp Minute. We'll see you again real soon. Bye now.